move on. And like even nowadays, like, all it starts whenever you do get a job and you do get hired. Hey, can I get you to do this real quick for me as a favor? And you say, yeah. Now all of a sudden you're doing it all the time. It's not in your job to do that, but now you're doing it all the time because they ask you to do it. And most of the time I'm going to do a good job. And I hope they notice me. Now I'm doing 3 jobs and I'm not getting paid for, like you said, whatever that job is worth. I think nowadays, I guess they got to post online how much you get paid in an actual job, but you're actually doing 3 jobs. Like when you break it down, we see that all the time in the job industry. But
that's not nothing new.
And also, I know I've seen some of the videos out there when people are doing interviews, but then they got AI up there listening to the question and prompting the question and prompting you a response to say back to the interview when you're doing those FaceTime interviews.
Like a virtual interview?
Yeah, like some of them are fake, but then some of them are actually doing it because they don't have those people skills that we talked about where you prepping yourself. They're using AI to get through the interview. And then some of the hiring managers, they're catching on to it. They'll say, hey, why is it taking you at least 6 seconds to give a response? Typically in the job interview, you'll be like, this, like, it's none of that. It's none of that. It's none of that looking up or twiddling your thumbs. Like they're being the perfect candidate during a job interview and in their response and everything. Like they're just sitting there and like they're just staring directly at the screen and they're reading what AI heard you say in the comment or, a response. And it's AI is telling you exactly what to read. It's some people out there that's jokingly doing it, but then there's some people out there that are actually doing it. But
that lands into my topic that we talked about last time. Is like how much like actual skill are we gonna have, like as people? Like how much skill are we gonna actually need to have? When AI actually becomes a reliable source of information, because I'm tinkering with it all the time and messing around with it, and it's just like it's still unreliable at this point. If you go by just like the basic free version of ChatGPT, which people get to pay the the more expansive version, but the basic ChatGPT, when I'm asking questions and or just giving prompts or talking about certain things, and it's like it'll give me a mixture of actual facts and assumptions that it's made that are incorrect. And I'm like, I like having like a back and forth conversation with it, like, hey, this wasn't correct. Like, did you just make this up or did you find this information somewhere and it just happened to be wrong? And then you're like, oh no, yeah, you're right, I kind of made an assumption here when I probably should have looked it up, but you were right about this, XYZ. So once they get it to the point where they it's not doing that anymore, and it doesn't have to assume, or it gets so good that its assumptions are actually correct, then it's like, what skills are we going to need? Are we going to need interview skills? Are we going to need people skills?
You're gonna need I think you're gonna need a trade skill.
Man, it's going to be a plumber on every corner. It's going to be home people going to be lined up with carpenters.
You better get them because as you talk about AI, and it's like there's no disagreement about it, because a lot of companies right now are going through this thing where they set up all their AI components and all these AI, and they're finding out that it's not really, I guess they're not seeing the benefit in terms of money-wise that they expected putting into AI, but it still kind of alleviates that whole having to go through the hiring process and get all these people on board and having to pay them. So they may save money on that end of it, but in terms of productivity that's beneficial for their company, they're not seeing the payout yet. So there's still time for that to be established. And the same thing with AI. So if you have AI now, it's no different from, like what, if we give it 10 years, 10 years ago, we weren't talking about AI and the fact that it was involved in the workplace. We may have been talking about it in terms of it existing, but not it doing an actual job. So that's only 10 years. And give it another 10 years, like you're saying, and that may all change. to the point where it's like now it's fully blown to the point where it's like, oh, AI is working and we don't need none of you motherfuckers anymore. So that will cause a problem, no doubt. And then it becomes an issue of like, okay, so what are we going to do? What industry can be made that recovers that or get people back to work, because people are struggling now. And I mean, it ain't by a little bit. The tech market is fucking tanking right now.